Hey, y'all, this is Charles Blair, the mad scientist, and I want to thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Duru Interviews. And my special guest today is a good friend of mine and someone that I've had the opportunity to know over the years. That's a real Duru. Now, a lot of you guys ask me, mad scientist, what's a Duru? A Duru is someone that not only can teach you the business, but they're actively doing the business right now. And with that being said, I want everybody to give a big Duru Interviews to my man, Renard Owens. Renard, introduce yourself to everybody, my friend.
Thank you for having me, Charles. Yeah, like Charles said, my name is Renard Owens, and I am a mortgage note investor. I invest in non-performing notes, residential, and that's what I do now.
Now, I know what it is to be a mortgage note investor. I want you to tell everybody who is listening, who may be new to the business or may have never heard that term before, what does it mean to be a mortgage note investor?
So mortgage note investor is you invest in mortgage notes. And so when I buy a mortgage and I buy non-performing mortgages, I now become the bank. I take over. When I buy it, that borrower now owes me that debt. And so and the beautiful thing about that is when you buy it non-performing, it's considered distress. It's not performing. I'm able to get these deals at a discount, which is a powerful thing.
So what kind of discounts are we talking about? Because you're talking about, let's say a property worth $100,000. If it's not performing, what kind of numbers are you seeing buying these type of notes?
Yeah, you can get these deals anywhere between 40 and 60 cents on the dollar, 40 and 60 cents on the dollar.
So automatically you are creating equity just by getting the note discounted.
Yes, you're creating your profit margin and you have some room how you work out and exit out of the deal.
Now, who is this for? Because I know a lot of people are sold by the so-called gurus on you want to be a wholesaler, you want to be a rehab, you want to be a buy and hold investor. Who should or who could be that note investor? Who is the best candidate to be investing in notes?
It's really for anybody who has a desire to do it. Specialized knowledge is a niche, but whether you have no real estate experience, you can learn to invest in notes, or you have experience where you've done multiple deals in whatever niche that you are in. It's really, for anybody who has a desire to do it,
Yeah, I know you talk about for no knowledge at all or some knowledge. Knowing you over the years, you started out in residential. So what took you, or how did you go from the residential side? Talk about your beginning to where you are right now.
Yeah, so I started out like most people in what I would call traditional real estate investing. I was part of a mastermind group. I went to your mastermind group meetup, and I would wholesale light rehabs. That's what I learned. That's where I started. And one day you had 6 years ago, you had a gentleman named Ahmed Hazel, who's a fund manager who's operating at a highest level in real estate investing by having a fund. And he came to speak about being the bank. I so happened to be sitting in the front of the room that day, which I normally sit in the front or somewhere in the middle, but because of my height, I don't be wanting to block anybody's view. But I was in front that day, and so I was soaking up everything that he was saying. And when he said, you could be the bank and how you could exit out of your deals, and a light bulb went off. And I was like, man, that's what I need to be doing. That's what I need to be. So after he spoke, I spoke to him, he gave me his business card. We spoke. So on the phone with him for like 45 minutes. And after that conversation, it changed me. He was, there's some things he said. He's like, you'll never look at a house the same way once you understand and get notes. And one of the things I specifically said to him was like, oh, I always want to, invest in real estate the traditional way. Well, he was 100% right. Once I started understanding notes, I disappeared, Charles, for like a year. I remember, I just went cold turkey. Nobody seen me. They didn't hear from me, anything. I was just gone, because I ate, slept, drank notes. I mean, everywhere he would speak, I would go. I would read everything on notes, and I was just attaching myself to him. And, he mentored me into this space. And this is where I learned how to, invest in notes. And I haven't looked back since.
So you bring up a very good point. While you did have success wholesaling and doing some light rehabs, it didn't really spark that whole high energy, that whole hustle mode. And that's what it took for you to get from that level of the A guy to that guy who hitting home runs after home runs after home runs.
Yeah. So what happened, like I said, my grandfather used to tease me and say, Renard hands were put on backwards. He got two left hands because I didn't build model cars when I was going. And so I never fully committed to. I would wholesale a deal every couple of months, and I had a career, too, and so and I liked real estate because that's why I was coming and I was showing up, do a light rehab, but I wasn't that guy that could go into a house that I was wholesaling, and I can look, oh, this is a totally gut job. The kitchen needs to be here, and then my mind didn't work that way, but I was forcing myself because I wanted to be in real estate to do it, right? And so, but it didn't give me that push, that drive. It didn't connect with me all the way. But because of not everybody was doing what a lot of people was on HGTV, flip this house, and this is the sexy thing to do. Everybody, let's go. So I was trying to get in that mode. But then when I got a hold of the notes and a light bulb went off, it's like everything clicked, and it was like ignorance on fire. It was like, I don't know everything, but guess what? I lit up like a light bulb when I talked about it. I was like, all right, let's go. This is what I'm gonna do. This and and like after 4 months, I bought my first 2 deals, and I ain't know everything, right? But look, ignorance on fire. You don't know everything, but look, you know what? You're gonna figure it out. But I was on fire for it. I had to get it, and that's how I was just going. Oh, this little obstacle come up. How we fix this? Boom, we're just going. And I was shouting it out to everybody. I was telling everybody, hey, do you ever hear about mortgage note? This is what I do. I was telling everybody. And to the point of that is I would, tell everybody where then I'm so excited and on fire for it. People wanted to be a part of it. Well, family members and stuff. Hey, well, how can I be a part of that? Hey, let me help you. And to where I started raising capital to do deals, with people, And so, ignorance on fire. I was shouting out to the world, hey, this is what I'm doing. It's great.
So 6 years later, how many different markets have you done deals in, notes wise and so on?
So I like to say I invest nationwide because I will look at deals all over, but I have a primary focus on the southern, southeastern, and Midwestern, Midwestern states. So that's where I really focus on. The states I like is, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Ohio. So I look in those states, primarily, but I look at a deal anywhere if the numbers make sense. Except for New York and New Jersey. I don't invest in New York and New Jersey because they top your money too long. If I needed to foreclose on a deal, it just takes too long, to do it there.
A little bit earlier, you talked about exit strategies. Go over some of the different ways that this strategy allows you to make money, because I know from talking to you over the past, there's a boatload of exit strategies you're able to accomplish when you're doing note investing.
Yeah, it's a lot of different, unique high level strategies you can use. I focus on, the 4 main ones, but, you can flip a note. I could buy a note today, turn around and sell it, a couple of days or a week later for a profit. You can foreclose and, take a property back, bought the note, take the property back, and then wholesale that property or sell that property out to a rehab or somebody that's looking for a buy and hold, a landlord, investor, but investing in the first position, it's a lot of different options you have. I'll give you an example. I did a deal in Jacksonville, Florida, where the gentleman was behind. I bought the note and he was behind on his taxes and it was going to tax sale. Well, me being in first position, I looked and see, okay, well, it's going to tax sales. A lot of investors that's looking to invest in this area, did my research and my due diligence. Okay, I'm in the first position, so I got to be made whole, right? And so I let it go to tax sale, and I by me being in the first position, I set the bid to, what I was looking to get and let the investors bid for it, and it sold at tax sale, and the county took their tax out of the sale, the proceeds, and then they paid me what was owed on the mortgage. and I bought it at a discount, and I made 30. I think that particular deal was like 32,000 off
So
that. Some change.
what was your note, the original note price, and that you discounted it to?
Yeah, so I ended up getting that deal for a little over 20,000.
Wow. And the original note was how much?
Well, I negotiated that note. It was just what the property was going for. So that was just, I negotiated that price of 20,000. You know what I mean? But they probably what was owed on it though, the unpaid principal balance was over 60,000 that was still owed on it.
That's what I wanted to hear. So you went from that original principal balance of 60 and you negotiated all the way down to 20,000.
20,000, right? And then when I got it for 20, I'm still owed that 60. But then, like I said, I let it go to tax sale and it still sold for 50,000. And so look, I'm in it for 20, and that's the beauty of it. I still made money.
So you just brought up a beautiful point. People don't understand when you negotiate the note with the actual note holder, you're not telling the note holder that you want the note to be worth 60,000. You're telling the note holder that you want to get the $60,000 note for only 20,000, and it still has that original value.
Right, still has that original balance, and so everything with that note, the what's owed on it and stuff, all of that still comes with it. And so because it's distressed, because it's not performing, that's why you're able to negotiate down and get, these huge discounts.
So when you're dealing with non-performing notes, we're talking about notes where the person isn't making the mortgage payment. When you're dealing with these notes, you could just have a single strategy of nothing more than getting notes for 30, 20, 40 cents on the dollar, and then just basically foreclosing or wholesaling them out. You don't even have to worry about all these other exits. You could literally pick one exit and just make a boatload of money doing that one exit.
Yeah, you can specialize if you really focus on 5-10 active buyers, and you have a good source of inventory that you connected to. Like you got people sending you deals, hedge funds, banks, other note investors. And you can literally, flip 2 to 3, 5 notes a week, depending on how you're getting your deals. And that's all you do and make money from that. But it just takes specialized knowledge of building your buyers list, connecting with the sellers, and, getting deals in and, providing your buyers what they're looking for in the States. You know what I mean? Because in the states that they're looking for, because you got some buyers that only want to buy in certain states. You got some people that just like, they might like Georgia, or they just might like Texas. So if I get a deal and I got a buyer and he likes Texas, when I'm looking at deals and I see, oh, I know Charles like Texas and he likes single family residences, in this price range. When I see it, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead. Hey, Charles, I got this potential deal. Let me know your interest and stuff. And then my relationship with the seller, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then literally I can just make that deal happen, and that you can do that and don't do nothing else and focus on just that strategy and be fine.
Okay, we're going to call this part My Best Way. And I want you to give us one of your best ways to find the notes, and give us one of your best ways to find a buyer for that note.
So one of my best ways to find a note is connect yourself to, hedge funds. And the secret sauce really is LinkedIn, because everybody's on LinkedIn, in these groups and stuff, right? And so, I connect myself to the seller, hey, tell them, hey, I'm interested in notes. Do you have any deals? And I build a rapport. I build a relationship with them, and then, and then we start from there. Then my buyers, it's a matter of same thing, talking to them. Hey, if you're interested in it, this is what I'm doing. And people will tell you, this is what I'm looking for. And now you just gotta, you gotta find it, and then you just you go from there, and it's really that simple in terms of words, but it takes just you doing. You gotta do it. Excellent.
Now, you talked about the deal you did in Florida, And I know your home base is Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. Have you done any deals in Baltimore in regards to note investing? Because a lot of people say, well, that's the Southwest, that's the Southeast. What about in Baltimore, in Maryland? Is there opportunities here in Maryland?
Yes, there's opportunities in Maryland. And look, there's opportunities because there's houses all over the country. There's opportunities. There's mortgages all over. There's a mortgage on, not just houses, but there's a mortgage on pretty much anything that you buy. You know what I mean? There's a note attached to it. Planes, boats, land, or whatever. But yes, I've done deals in Baltimore in our own backyard. One of my deals that was a really, really good deal. In West Baltimore, little row house, paid $17,000 for it, foreclosed on it because the gentleman wasn't paying. But when I foreclosed and took it back, it was fully rented as a rooming house, and so I did some few things, repairs and stuff. It was one of those rental areas, it wasn't a lot of resale going on, but the value in this particular area and deal was on the rents. There was a lot of rentals there. And so once I took it back, that's when I seen that little row house was bringing in $1,900 a month. And so when I seen that, I had it seasoned, it was coming out of COVID. And once I took it back, so my I don't hold on to any properties. I'll hold on to the notes, for my business model and my business. So what I do, I'll get the note reperforming, and because I want the passive income from the note, because I don't want to deal with the tenants, toilets, trash, and termites, right? And so what I do is once I take a property back, the first thing I'm trying to do, I'm trying to liquidate it. So I'm gonna either wholesale it out to people that's looking for, properties, wholesale, buy and hold, landlords. And so that particular deal, when I took it back, and it was bringing in that income, I was able to sell that. I reached out to my network, and I was able to sell that deal. That deal sold for over $50,000.
So you discounted it down to $17,000. You had $1,900 cash flow every month coming in, and you also was able to sell it out and make a good piece of change on it.
Yes. Yep.
We've covered a lot of things, and I know what people really want to know is, do you need to have some kind of special knowledge to really do this business? What does it take to really get good at this business?
Well, you got to have a sheer desire to learn, because it is a different niche in, operating in the space as a banker, and in difference in how you operate in terms of with the note, buying the paper, not owning the property first. One of the things I like to say is, is controllability, control everything without owning anything at first, right? Because when I buy the note, I control the property. I don't own it yet unless I take that next step and foreclose and take it back, and so it's specialized things that you have to learn, in order to do it. But anybody can do it if you have the specialized knowledge and the desire to do it, and so and that's my passageway in the business, right? Never had a way into the business. Heard about it in 2008, 2009, the mortgage crisis came where everybody was up in arms, and literally didn't know how to invest in the business until, I seen, Ahmed Hazel speak, and that started my journey. And so still today, so many people don't know how to invest in notes, want to know, and don't have a way into the business. And I want to change that for people.
Now let's talk about that point, the fact that you want to change that. I know you got a 2-day workshop coming up here in Baltimore, first time ever, 2 whole days of teaching people how to do note investing. And the best part about it, you're giving back to the community because it's a free 2-day event. Talk about that, how people can get those tickets and get to this event that you're having on. Just talk about it.
Yes. So, like you said, I want to give back and, want to give people access to a way to invest into this space because it's that powerful. And it literally changed my life, investing in mortgage notes. And so I'm giving a 2-day free event, like you said, May 20th and 21st. It's at the Best Western Hotel at the Travel Plaza in Baltimore, Maryland. It's going to be filled with information, how you invest in notes. I'm giving you information on the industry, what it's doing, and, just how you get into the business and how do you do this business. And I'm going to break it down, from A to Z. A to Z on, different. We're gonna go over due diligence. We're gonna go over exit strategies. We're gonna go over the mindset, what it takes to do this business. We're gonna cover all that, and also I got a special guest speaker that's coming, who's big and teaches and doing great things on business funding, teach you how to fund your business, because one thing to come into business, but how do I get money to fund my business if you have an LLC and build your business credit where you're not using it? So we're going to cover all those things to get you in the right mindset and right framework to do this business and take off if that's what your desire is.
So what's the date again?
May 20th and 21st.
And what's the website address?
The website address is www.mortgagenoteworkshop.com.
And that's where they can go and sign up for free. Because I know last time we talked, I think you only had something like 60, 70 seats left. It was already 100 and something already gone. And I know you have room for 200 people. So there's only about 65, 70 seats left. So go to www.mortgagenoteworkshop.com. What is it again?
www.mortgagenoteworkshop.com. I think we down to 62 seats left, and so if you want to be there, you won't be disappointed. It's going to be everything that you're looking for, and it's going to be all about notes and taking it to the next level.
Take care, my man. Thank you, guys. I want to appreciate every last one of you guys for tuning in to this Duru interview with Renard Owens. Renard, is there any last minute advice you want to give to people?
Hey, tap into your network, stay connected to people, surround your circle around people that's doing the things that you want to do. And look, don't quit, don't give up, keep seeking. And look, the universe and things will line up for you, and you'll get connected to the people that's going to help you get to where you're trying to go. There's a lot of people out there who want to help you. You just got to put yourself in position and to see those people. And look, we all one person away from 10x and 25x and your situation, and taking off. So I look forward to seeing you on May 20th and 21st, and I'll see you on the other side of success.
Hey guys, Charles Blair, the Mad Scientist, signing out, and I'll see you in the next interview for Duru Interviews. Bye.